Oh, hello, this is Tak Chong. Welcome to another Walk with Tak cooking video. The purpose of my YouTube channel is to help you to make home cooking as part of your daily routine so you can eliminate the consumption of fast and ultra-processed food for your long-term health benefit. However, the goal of my cooking channel is to help you to develop a cooking system that you will make home cooking that is fun and enjoyable. Instead of using recipe, you will use template. And by using template, you can create many variations more spontaneously and intuitively. In this video, I'm going to show you a template to create a steamed rice. This is one of those one-dish meal that you have many ingredients in this dish to make a complete meal. To cook this dish, I'm going to be using a Corning Vision Series casserole. This is a 1.5 quart casserole, and it's rather shallow in its height, so it fits very well in the wok. I'm going to use 3 cups of cooked rice. This is jasmine rice I cooked a little bit earlier, and this dish is excellent for using leftover rice. In fact, cooked rice is much better than using fresh rice because this will cause the rice to mix much better with the other food ingredients. So I'm going to form a bed of rice at the bottom of the casserole. I'm going to kind of spread it out. Now the rice just came out from the refrigerator, so it's kind of a little bit hard. But if you want it to be a little bit softer, you can always microwave it in advance. But in this case, it works well for me. Now after I lay down a bed of rice, I'm going to start to adding vegetables. And the first vegetable I'm going to add is some carrot that I have thinly sliced. And the carrot will go well with the rice because the flavor of the carrot will flavor the rice. It's the slight sweetness, which is wonderful in flavor. Now next, I'm going to use a combination of 2 Chinese meats, and one is a Chinese sausage. It's called lapchang, and this lapchang is a very well known, particularly for cooking this type of dish. Another one, I'm going to use a cured Chinese bacon. Both of them will give really great flavor. They will also add a bit saltiness to the dish. So I'm going to mix it well with the rice because the fat that they're going to produce will really give rice a nice flavor as well as texture. Next, I find some vegetables in my advanced prepping, and the vegetable that I have is some broccoli. Now, you can use almost any type of vegetable that you would like, and in this case, I happen to have broccoli on hand, and I think broccoli will go well with this dish. Another vegetable really will go well is like bok choy, cauliflower, and also goes well too. You can always mix them together to create a medley. And then I'm going to put some shiitake mushroom. Now, these are dehydrated shiitake mushroom, which I have hydrated in advance, and I usually will make enough of this mushroom that I can keep in the refrigerator for me to use in different type of dishes. And they have a pretty good shelf life after you rehydrate them. They last for about 10 days. Now, this is the part which is really important for this dish from the standpoint of how my wife likes the flavor of the dish. She loves ginger, and there's different ways to plate ginger. And ginger sometimes are difficult to prep depending on how you're going to use it. So in the future, I will do a video specifically on how the different ways to use ginger in your cooking. Okay, next I'm going to add some of my Wok with Tak basic seasoning mix. Now this seasoning mix works extremely well for this type of dish because this seasoning mix is relatively mild in flavor, and what it does is that it adds umami flavor to the dish without overcoming the natural flavor of the ingredients. So you can take a look at this video on the components that are in this seasoning mix, and you can also get it from Amazon if you would like to give it a try. Then I'm going to put in some king oyster mushroom. Now, I love king oyster mushroom partly because of their texture. They have a very unusual texture from the standpoint of a mushroom, and they have good shelf life too. I slice them up and I use them in many different type of dishes. Okay, to top it off, I have some additional carrots. I'm going to just put it on top of it. You notice that the order of laying out this food ingredients is pretty much based on my personal preference. The goal is that to have the flavor of the ingredients penetrate into the rice. The last, but not the least, is I'm going to put in some scallion. Scallion is great for topping up almost any type of dishes because they provide the dish a wonderful onion flavor, but at the same time, they are very fast to cook. So you can add onion flavor without having to worry about cooking the dish for a long time. And then at the end, I'm going to add additional of that basic seasoning mix. This will provide a all-around flavor to the entire steamed rice. Okay, but one thing I must remember is to put some fermented black soybean. This is one of my wife's favorite seasoning agents. It is a great condiment, and you don't need to add a lot of it, but it provides excellent flavor to the steamed rice. Again, a lot of these are personal preference, and this is one good thing about home cooking. So I'm also going to add a little bit about Shaoxing cooking wine. This cooking wine will make the dish more flavorful. Particularly, it will make the dish more complex, and I really like this cooking wine. If you have not tried before, I strongly recommend it that you give it a try. Okay, now the dish is ready. It took me about somewhere between 10 minutes to 12 minutes to put it all together. Now I put it into my wok. I put it on top of a steaming rack, which is a very shallow steaming rack. In other words, it's very short legs. So this will allow me to put in large containers. In this case, as you can see, this is a fairly large container. Last but not least, I'm going to put a little bit of soy sauce. Again, this is completely up to you. And this is what I would call flavor chasing. You will try to create a flavor that you like. The more you cook, the more you have experience with different type of flavor that you can create with different seasoning agents. Okay, I'm going to put the cover on, and I'm going to steam it for about 30 to 35 minutes. So let me tell you about this wok. This is a Cook Standard 13-inch stainless steel wok. In fact, this is the very first stainless steel wok that I have when I first had it. I really don't know how to use it. I end up burning it badly, and I put it in the basement, and I do not touch it again for the next 5 years. And finally, when I figured out how to use a stainless steel wok, I really like this wok. Now, like most other stainless steel wok, this is a tri-ply wok, means that it's a triple layer for entire wok, and it comes with a dome cover. And the nice thing about the dome cover is that it can accommodate the dish. So as you can see, now it's about 20 minutes after into the steaming. Everything looks good. The next step is that I'm going to add 3 eggs. I'm going to drop the egg directly onto the surface of the food ingredients. And the idea is that I'm going to steam the egg. The reason I add the egg later because I want the egg yolk to still remain to be soft, so I do not want to steam it too long. It takes usually about 10 minutes, and this basically I am to poach the egg. That's exactly what I am going to do. And after I drop the egg, I'm going to put the cover back on, and this will allow me to cook the dish for another 10 minutes. So the total cook time is about 30 minutes, but the egg will be cooked for about 10 minutes. So I put the cover back onto the dish, and then 10 minutes later I open it up. And as you can see, now the egg has been poached perfectly. So this is one way of how I approach this dish. And before it is being served, I'm going to put just a tiny little bit of soy sauce right over the egg. So there are a couple of things I would like to point out about this steamed rice dish. First of all, it's a complex dish. It has many different ingredients, many different seasoning agents. However, none of this, I would call it specific, because all of these are very flexible depending on what you have and depending on how you like it. I bet I will cook this dish very differently next time. In fact, this is the first time I cook this dish in this particular way. For example, I can change the proteins. Instead of using Chinese sausages and the Chinese bacon, I can use chicken, or I can use shrimp, or even fish. This all can result in a different type of presentation. So steaming can be complicated. Most people think of steaming as just steaming vegetables, broccoli, cauliflowers, or something like that. But instead, you can create very complex dish. In the previous video, I have shown how to steam a seafood dish that includes lobsters and fish, and this creates a really complex dish. And so if you consider steaming as a template, there are many possibilities of how you use this template to create diversity and variations. Ultimately, it is entirely up to your imaginations. The reason I developed the fast cooking system is to help you to make home cooking practical. Practicality is absolutely essential, but efficiency is also necessary because if you cannot cook within the amount of time that you have, you probably will not cook, and then you will go to fast and ultra-processed food. So in order for you to enjoy your cooking, efficiency, practicality, creativity is going to be an important part that will help you to continue to cook and make home cooking as part of your daily routine. So I post a video each day to help you to make home cooking as a regular activity. I am doing it every single day myself, and I know you can do it too, because I'm not only going to cook every day, but I also make a video every day. That takes quite a bit of time, and I know it is something that I enjoy doing. Therefore, I have been keep doing it. So keep on cooking. I will see you tomorrow.